This week we're going to be continuing to work on the Venator's bridge. Hey guys, this week we're going to be continuing to work on the Venator's bridge. As you guys know, we've made like 5 or 6 different iterations of the bridge. Here are 2 of them, and we are going to be continuing to work on our goal of getting that complete this week on the Venator update. I'm not sure how far we'll get into it, but our goal at the end of this week is to have a completed bridge. So let's get into this update without further ado. But first, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button down below. It does really help out here on the channel. So let's get into this update. Starting off this week on the Venator update, we are taking a look at the bridge. I am super excited to continue working on it because we really did do some amazing stuff last week with it. And we made 3 different iterations of the bridge for those of you who weren't here in the last update. And I think this is the best one we've gotten so far. It's very smooth and very nice. I do have to work on making these 2 sections in the center flush a bit more. Oh wait, are they flush? Hold on, I thought they weren't flush. No, they aren't flush. It looks like they are. So I do need to work on making this gray middle section flush with each other because as you can see, there's a little bit of a height brick difference. So if I put a panel like this one over here over it, that won't work perfectly. So that's what I'm gonna work on right now. All right, a little bridge progress for you guys. It's very hard to design this because there's just so many angles to this that aren't working out and are so complicated to do in Snot. It'd be a lot easier if I was doing this in brick form, but I decided to do Snot because I hate myself. But anyways, this is how it's looking so far. It's looking alright, but it's looking a little boxy, especially towards the end. I gotta work on making the width accurate and getting these 2 angles to line up. It's so complicated to do. I mean, we have this one for the gray one, which we used basically on the dark bluish gray ones before, but we basically converted that to this because it was going to be way too wide if we didn't. So we basically made it smaller in that sense, but now the height may be a bit too high. So there's just a lot of things that go into this, which is why this is taking such a long process to do because it's just so complicated to figure out. But at this point, I think I just have to power through and go to the front end and see how that works out because that will give me a good sense of scale for everything else. So I know the length, because I mean, we know the length, but it'll give me a good sense of scale in the ways of girth and how thick this thing has to be to really capture those angles. So I think I'm just going to power through and work on the other side of this and just make it the proper length, everything like that, and then make the tiny changes after I have my first complete fully rounded prototype. Alright, we're continuing to work on the bridge prototype. As you can see, we've made some great work, although we do have some flaws we still need to work out. I do feel like we've made some great progress today so far on this bridge, but it still does need quite a lot of work. It's so hard for figuring out the structure and how to support these bricks because there's so many different ways to do it, and I don't know which one is the right way to do it without doing so many trials and errors. I've been working on this for so long and I'm getting a bit annoyed with it, not gonna lie, because every single time I do something else becomes a problem. So it is a bit frustrating to do, but I'm going to keep trying and persevering through this process. Alright, so we made a little bit of progress, and I thought it was looking great, everything was going good, and so I put it on here, and I realized if I make another one of these, they're going to be neck and neck touching with each other. So that is not okay, because they are not that close at all. So now I have to make modifications to this to make this even smaller. Alright, I think we made some really good progress here. We really have done quite a lot with this week. We have made this smaller now, and it is really starting to come together. Even in the back section, I'm really happy with how that's coming out together too. Everything is nice and smooth, and I figured out some new Snot techniques to figure out how to do that, so I'm very happy with that. I do hate that there's very little to no interior space. Not that I was expecting there to be any, but I was hoping I could at least sit like a minifigure on the inside of it. That would have been nice, but well, maybe yeah, we'll be able to. We'll see. Maybe we'll actually be able to put a minifigure inside there, like Admiral Yulorn right here on top of the bridge. But yeah, I'm liking this. I think this looks pretty good in the way of proportions. I mean, this is going to scale up like that. There should be a circle cone underneath there, and I think it's looking really nice. But for right now, I think we're going to just keep working on a few other small minor tweaks to it. Maybe work on the top a little bit, and maybe get this side on before we wrap up this week's update. Alright, we were making some great progress on the bridge. However, I realized I was playing it wrong. This one is supposed to be indented more than this one. It's not supposed to be the opposite. So now I gotta redesign that thing, which means taking off all these bricks and I spent so long figuring out, and it's a big mess. It's gonna take a while for me to actually make it accurate, probably like another hour to just get to this point again. So I'm gonna get working on that and give you guys a quick update how that looks in a second. Alright, to wrap up this update, we didn't get much more done, mainly because figuring out this system right here took so long, and I'm not even sure if it's 100% accurate, considering this plate is jutting out, and that's not accurate because, well, that's a illegal building technique right there. So we do have to work on this quite a bit more, but it is coming along nicely, as you guys can see. I really like how this front came out, and overall, I'm excited to continue working on this next week. I would have loved to work on this more this week, but unfortunately, just due to time, I'm not able to get that much done on it. However, it would have been nice if we got this entire thing complete this week so that we could start working on the second one next week. But it's okay. I want to do this amazing. I want it to be the best version of the Venator possible. So we're going to wait. But at least the sizing looks very good on this so far, I do have to say. I mean, you got a picture that this will be actually covered up with bricks, you know, eventually once you figure out this section. And there will be a cone section underneath there. But I think in the ways of proportions, this is looking great. I am very happy with how this is looking this week. So let's head into the outro. I forgot to mention it this week on the Venator update, but we actually added a new light to the top of the bridge right there, as you guys can see, and it looks absolutely amazing. I'm super happy with how it came out, and honestly, huge thanks to Brickmax and Light Town, because it just looks so freaking cool. Like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to put the newest light up there once we get the bridge actually complete, because it looks so good from all angles. And we're going to have to add a second layer of lights above it, because there are two of them right there. There's one level here and one level there, which we'll get to soon. But honestly, I'm just happy I was able to get this installed this week, and thank goodness I planned for having a massive hole in the center of it, because you can't really see with the bridge on. Let me take that off. That there is a big hole right in the center that goes all the way through this massive tower for the Venator. So thank goodness I had that hole, because it makes wires a lot easier to run than instead of putting them inside bricks like we did for these front sections of the Venator right here. So I'm glad I did that. But that's it for this week's update. Let's head into the outro. So unfortunately, that's gonna wrap up for this week on the Venator update. Next week, I hope we can actually get the bridge 100% complete, at least on one side. If not, the other side as well would be amazing, but those may be saying my goal is a bit too high considering how much schoolwork I've been having to do recently with college. So that's gonna wrap it up for this week on the Venator update, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.